The Sihek, or Guam kingfisher, features as the logo for this year's WAZA annual conference, so we thought it warranted an introduction to this bird and our plans to return it to the wild.
The story of the Sihek is one of tragedy, yet of courage and hope. The Sihek was declared extinct in the wild back in the late 1980s due to predation by the introduced brown tree snake. Fortunately, 29 Sihek were rescued just prior to extinction in the wild in a courageous effort to save the species.
Since then, Sihek have been managed at 24 AZA institutions and at the DAR facility on Guam. Together, this partnership has grown the population to around 160 birds. Our AZA partners continue to do an amazing job, but our ability to grow this population has become much more difficult.
Our research has shown that the current population size of Sihek raises concerns for their long-term viability. Further, we found that genetic threats from inbreeding and associated decreases in survival and reproductive success are impacting the population. It is therefore urgent that we release Sihek to the wild and establish wild populations so that we can grow the total population size.
Okay, so currently we cannot return Sihek to Guam because of the ongoing problems with brown tree snake. Instead, we're planning an assisted colonisation to Palmyra Atoll, effectively developing our conservation translocation techniques and growing a large pool of wild birds which will be available for eventual reintroduction.
Now, given that we are releasing Sihek outside their indigenous range, we need to make sure that the destination ecosystem can sustain them and not be harmed by them. So what we're doing now is quantifying the availability and abundance of prey species that Sihek might feed on, but also assessing the risk that Sihek themselves as predators could pose to those species.
We are also currently working on a thorough disease risk analysis and planning a translocation pathway designed to manage these risks.
There are at least 37 other extinct in the wild animal species. Because of threats in the wild, they've become the ultimate conservation refugees. For species such as this, assisted colonization may be a viable or in some cases even necessary conservation action.
Our Sihek being released on Palmyra is a symbol of hope and love and perseverance that a part of Guam will be free.
The last generation to see the Sihek were my grandparents, or my grandparents' generation. So, but since then, the Sihek have kind of faded out of existence and gone extinct. So I think that it will be an incredibly heartwarming feeling for them to know, for the older generation, to know that the Sihek, one of our birds, are on their way back to the wild, and they're on their way back to flying free and soaring in the skies and along the jungle. And I think it's a kind of a feeling of coming full circle.